You came back for the fun, right? Because that's what this video is. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Get excited. Welcome back, everyone. It is another video about creating professional development plans. Welcome to Hustle Up, girl. So excited. Let's get started. All right, so this is video number 4. Wow, like this is a lot of information. Video 1 was about mission and vision. Video 2 was about goals. If you'd like to go back to either of those videos, I'm going to throw a card up real quick, or you can grab the information in the description box. Now, video 3 is something that you need to have watched before you watch this video. Otherwise, it won't entirely make sense, because we did go over the 4 pillars of professional development, and we're going to be diving deeper into that in this video. And if you don't have that kind of foundation knowledge, it might get a little confusing. So go ahead and click that box if you haven't watched the video yet. All right, so we're going to be talking about annual expectations. What do I mean by that? How is it different than goals? I know there's a lot of questions. It sounds complicated to say, ooh, it's a plan for everything I want to accomplish next year. I promise, this is something that will probably only take you 10 or 15 minutes to write out. What it is laying out the annual, biannual, quarterly, and maybe even monthly things that you want to accomplish as a part of your professional development plan. And honestly, the best way for me to show you what this looks like is to actually show you what it looks like. All right, so this is my 2019 professional development plan. I made this at the end of 2018 for this calendar year, and I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of my upcoming professional development plan for 2020 in an upcoming video if anyone wants to check out what's coming up for my author career. Sometimes I'm a little extra, so at the top I have declared the purpose of my document. So under document properties, I have my purpose, my design, and my updates. So my purpose says the 2019 professional development plan is an opportunity to intentionally improve and engage as an author, both individually and alongside others, as well as create opportunities to expand professional reach and scope and promote written works. The intent is to ensure that opportunities for self-enhancement are not missed by failing to forward plan and being certain that specific tasks are being prioritized each year. Then I have the design section, which is basically just outlining what the document looks like. So for design, it says this plan will detail the 4 pillars of professional development, outline the minimum expectations for the 2019 calendar year, and set forward the overall plan for development. And then for updates, I wrote that this document will be updated every December for the following year. So the next part is the actual 4 pillars, which we went over in the last video. And this is essentially how I have everything laid out for myself in the document as a reminder for what it is I'm supposed to be thinking about as I'm putting together my professional development plan. Now, if you'll notice, inside of the improve section, I have outlined what the actual pillar is, and then I have noted what items I consider to be professional development for my business. Now, you'll notice on there it says reading books by leaders in the field, reading books outside of romance, researching valuable topics related to future works, listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos, and completing online workshops and or courses. So yours will look different because there are things out there that will teach you that I haven't thought of because my business is different than yours. And you probably won't include reading books outside of romance in yours. I included that in mine because I get way too bogged down in reading romance and just being involved in romance, and changing something up for myself is really helpful. So the next section is engage, and just as a refresh, that has to do with networking, relationship building, interpersonal skill development. And for my professional development, I consider things like book signings, writer conferences, seminars, and retreats, joining professional organizations, participating in romance anthologies, and engaging on social media to be things that are valuable. Now, unless you're an author, you are probably not going to put book signings and anthologies on there, but you might have, in place of writer conferences, seminars, and retreats, artist retreats or trade shows. Or if you're a small business owner that gets impacted by local politics, maybe you consider attending local meetings on a regular basis or city hall or things that are valuable for you. If you're a super extrovert, you might consider doing speed networking events. If you live somewhere remote, you'll probably really want to spend time on this engaging in social media, but you have to be careful that your online interactions are not taking over the majority of your interpersonal relationships. You could also consider nonprofit volunteering or supporting local or community events as a part of this as well. There are a million things, you just have to figure out what works for you. Next, we have create. As I said in the last video, it is not about products. It is all about materials. As you'll see here, I've included a list of things that can fall within this theme for me. That includes creating business plans, budgets, and quarterly goals, expanding into new markets and social media spaces, and development of new resources for readers. Free and exclusive content are the majority of those kind of resources. Now, for you, this will look very, very different. You might be interested in creating a podcast to talk about your life as an artist, or writing a blog about the importance of career coaching. Maybe you've never created a 90-day work plan before and you want to try one of those. Lastly is promote. I consider this to be straightforward, but I realize not everybody will feel that way. But this section is about marketing. It's about making sure you're getting your products out there to the right buyer. For me, this includes utilizing the knowledge that I gained in the Improve theme. So that will vary depending on what it is I've been spending time on in the Improve theme. There's also updating underperforming social media, exploring new social media and marketing opportunities, and developing personal branding. Keep in mind that each professional development pillar is about action steps. It's about tasks to complete. And if you want to improve your marketing by taking a course, that would go in the Improve section, not in the Promote section. All right, so those are my professional development pillars laid out in the plan. Now below that, I have my annual expectations. Now, what are these and how is this different than everything else I've talked about? Well, this is essentially an outline for all the little things I want to achieve throughout the year. You'll notice things are broken down into chunks based on frequency. So I have quarterly, biannually, annually, and then this expansion piece, which I will talk about. So let's start with quarterly. So in my annual expectations, I've noted that for each quarter, I want to read one book regarding writing, publishing, marketing trends, or a related topic, read one book for enjoyment outside of romance, and improve or expand one social media platform on rotation from the list below. Now you'll notice 2 of these items are from the Improve section and 1 is from the Promote section. Once we start to outline the entire plan, you'll notice that sometimes you'll have more things in one section than the other. Now, if we move on to the biannual section, I have attend a book signing, complete a writing workshop or class, and then research a new topic regarding writing, publishing, marketing, or trends. In the annual section, so things that I'm going to do once a year, that's attend a writer's conference or retreat, add a new social media engagement opportunity, so explore new platforms, expand one underused platform from the list below, write in one anthology, find a new podcast or YouTube channel, and develop a new exclusive content for my readers. Now, as I've said before, you have to make this your own. So I have also included this expansion section, which is just some additional opportunities I'd like to take advantage of, but are hard to quantify in a plan. at least for me. So engaging with professional organizations, which would be the Romance Writers Association for me, is hard to do because I live on an island and it doesn't have a chapter of that organization. So for this year, it's not really going to work. But next year, I'll be going to the conference, so I can add that to my annual section. And the last one is a project that I've decided to set aside because it no longer interests me. So eventually you'll see that on my outline, but I didn't actually end up doing any work. The thing to remember about this page is that it's supposed to be updated each year, and it will look different from year to year as you add and take away things from the pillars section. All right. So now that you've gone over exactly what annual expectations are supposed to look like, make sure that you grab the worksheet that's in the description below, because it basically takes you through that whole process. It outlines for you the 4 pillars as well as the tasks that might fall under each of those pillars. And then there's space for you to brainstorm the tasks you think are going to be more relevant to you. On page 2, there is space for you to kind of outline for yourself how you want things to be laid out in an annual, biannual, and quarterly outline. But the last section is, in my opinion, the most important. And the reason is because it's all about laying things out for yourself and being realistic. Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy or any of those other names that come along with someone who isn't able to focus on things from a positive perspective, because I consider myself a very positive person and I'm always about challenging and improving and growing and how can I set myself up to do bigger and better things. But when it comes to setting up a professional development plan for yourself, there are new things coming into play, and it's important for you to talk about them with yourself ahead of time so that you don't hit a stumbling block that you weren't expecting. What I mean by that is that you have a space on the worksheet to outline for yourself what it will look like now that you are setting new expectations for what you're going to do with your time. I work full-time from home and I have no children. I have nobody else that I have to be responsible for. I don't have to deal with sick days. I don't have to get people to and from school. I don't have to worry about soccer practice or breastfeeding or trying to deal with somebody coming in and nagging me other than my cat. But maybe you do have those things. And if you are trying to carve out new time for yourself to read books and attend conferences and take time to take webinars, you'll need to identify early on how you are going to create that time for yourself and protect it, as well as how do you negotiate that time when you have other things that are more important priorities. It's also important to talk about the financial aspect, which is always a thing that nobody really wants to talk about. But if you're adding attending a conference to a professional development plan and you have a small at-home business, where do you come up with the money for something like that? For the hotel, the registration fee, maybe the plane ticket or the travel costs. If you're going to take an online course and it's $350, where do you draw that from? Now, there's always an opportunity to research and draw in free or very cheap resources, and I will definitely be doing a video on some amazing free and discounted resources in the future. But for now, it's just important to be transparent with yourself about those things so that they don't become those roadblocks or those stumbling blocks later on. It's also just a reality check. If you're a person who hates reading and you're trying to say that you want to do 4 books per quarter, maybe that's unrealistic. Maybe that's something you can't do or that you know you're not going to follow through on. But maybe you would be great at listening to audiobooks or getting podcasts in the mix. It's a way for you to identify what are things you really need to think through. This is about you figuring out what is going to best challenge and uplift you and help you be more successful as a person. Don't take that lightly. That's a pretty wonderful thing to be able to do. And you should be proud of the fact that you're trying to do that right now. All right, this video went a little bit long. Get pumped because next video is video 5 and we are going to actually create your professional development plan. Now, just as a reminder, you want to make sure that you complete that worksheet for this video before you start the next video. So don't skip ahead. It's important to do it. If you have questions or comments, please make sure you leave them below. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this video was helpful, and please hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to get notified every time a new video comes out. Thanks everyone for coming by. Can't wait to see you next time. Give me a thumbs up. Any of the thumbs up. What's a thumbs up? So I am single. I'm not single. I said I was single. Sorry, husband.